Once I do hello. Yep. What's up? Man, I'm really telling you. Do it. I just want to do it. Hello. Hello. Yep.
Hey, everybody. I know Randy was live a little earlier, but I was busy doing something. In fact, I was actually working on my newest novel on Wattpad. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I'm an online novelist in my spare time, along with me being an actor, a cosplayer, and also director and all that.
Okay.
Yes. And of course, Randy knows I'm an online novelist because he's read some of my novels before.
Okey-dokey. It's like,
Yeah. So you were saying?
yeah, I was saying that about what happened last night. Those people were like, those people are friends of mine. I let them on the broadcast because they needed to talk to me about something, get it off their chest or whatever,
I understand.
and this is the quickest way to do
Yeah, I understand.
it. Okay. Hello. They're 18. Thank you. But what I'm saying is, dude, we're not the only ones that are being attacked by these people. They are too, and being attacked by the same people that are attacking
Wait, the same people?
the same people.
Wow. Sounds to me like these kind people like to harass everybody. But guess what? For 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 lately, though, I haven't gotten anything sent to my house from them since the last time I was alive with you.
That's because we're like really we're like really ignoring them. And the thing is, when you ignore somebody and you don't give them that power that they crave by having your attention, they move on because they can't get what they want from you, so they have to get it from somebody else.
Yep.
Feel me? That's what it is.
Sorry, that's my tablet. Sorry
And
about that. If you heard Ray's uh, voice just now in my background here, that was my tablet. For me to be in the chat, I had to use my tablet. Everybody,
yeah,
yeah. For
well,
me to remove unwanted people from the chat, I had to be in the. I had to use my tablet to do so. And remember, my tablet uses a different YouTube username. It's an old YouTube from an old YouTube channel that I had before I even started making content in 2015. It was just some channel I had that I posted a couple Lego stop motion videos on, but mostly used for just to listen to music. And it was before I was even serious about even like making content, like actually being a serious full-on YouTuber.
mm,
And before I decided to just become a uh, full-time YouTuber in 2015, and created the channel that I ended up using to make content, which is my channel that was wrongfully terminated. Yeah,
what? Well, what? Well,
and but that doesn't mean I'm gonna be back that doesn't mean I can go back to making my own content on a separate channel. Okay, I'm not gonna not using my like old this old YouTube channel of mine for stuff like that. Besides, it would be dangerous for me to go back to create a new YouTube channel anyway.
well, I can only do this when I have the time to.
Yeah, of course I understand that, right?
I mean, dealing with Shannon is a full time job in itself.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how's your wife? How's your wife doing,
Yeah,
Rainy?
you doing okay.
Is
So
she enjoying the new year so far?
yeah, I haven't killed her yet. I'm trying. I'm trying the best.
There are sometimes married relationships. Some being in a relationship and making the relationship last long is part of it. Is compromise, right?
I know, son. I've been doing this up.
And working things out. Obviously, you and her are not going to agree on everything. Of course, everyone who has been in a romantic relationship even like knows this. And that includes me.
No, all we do is laugh about stuff, tell jokes to each other.
Now,
And just,
Mary yesterday, everybody, in last night's live stream, I was gonna I was gonna sing "Save the Last Dance for Me" by Michael Bublé from the Wedding Date movie, but I ended up not being able to because Randy had to end the live stream. But I'll sing the song for you now. Remember, this song is actually a really old 1950s song, everybody, by an all black music group called the Four Tops. And but Michael Bublé just did a cover of it for the soundtrack of a movie called The Wedding Date, which was actress Deborah Messing's official like crossover into movies. It was her first time doing like a full on movie because she was only known for TV at the time, and she was mostly known for the show Will and Grace. Yeah, you and I know what that. You and I know about that. Not that '90s TV show, people. Pretty much
Mhm.
everybody does. Because remember, I grew up in the 2000s, and there was obviously reruns of that show on TV all the time. And of course, they went and did the revival series a couple years ago, which had the whole entire cast, including Deborah Messing, all returning. Yeah, and
Yes,
yeah, and
I'm kind of a guy who likes '90s TV, but it's just certain '90s TV rubbed me the wrong way.
well, funny. Speaking of '90s TV, did you know that the show How I Met Your Mother actually secretly stole a lot of its jokes from the show Friends?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because
Make
it was
how
some
I met
parts, some
you.
jokes that were obvious. You can so, and while watching, you can see it. It's just obvious. And I mean, seriously, like if you look at, I mean, uh, I mean, like
I really hate people who do that.
Patrick,
Who
yeah,
who
like
get who get who get on these '90s TV shows and think that their life is gonna be all. Oh, hey, I'm on TV. I'm gonna be a star. No, it don't work like that.
yeah. Except there are a few times where it did work like that. Like remember that show called Freaks and Geeks? Look what happened to the actors in that show. They
Yeah,
all
no,
went
I
on to have successful careers. Like Linda Cardellini, for example, she went on to become a famous movie actress. But did you know that before she was an actor, she actually started out as a porn actress, Randy? Movie actress. But did you know that before she was an actor? Yeah, she started out as a porn actress before she
hey, hey, hey,
started
hey,
doing TV. And I
hey,
remember
man.
one of her earliest roles was in a couple episodes of Boy Meets World.
Yeah, but let's
And
keep that down, okay? But '90s TV rubs me the wrong way, especially a certain show. We know which show it is, don't we, Carl?
what show is that?
Jesus Christ, boy! You know, it's a Baywatch. It's all it is. It's like Knight Rider. That's all it is. Boats don't talk. You know, I hate.
Baywatch is we all know that Baywatch is just an excuse to see hot women in bikinis.
That's all it is. That's
And
all you see on
and of
TV.
course it also led to David Hasselhoff getting arrested for impersonating a lifeguard on a beach too.
Yeah, that did
Yeah,
happen.
and it also led to him making an appearance in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie where he plays himself,
Oh
where he's
God.
basically obviously parodying Baywatch because he's dressed like a lifeguard. But
Oh.
anyway, okay, here's Save the Last Dance for Me. Now remember, this is a song I did a cover of a couple years back. This was when I still had my YouTube channel, everybody. And yeah, this was actually one of the romantic cover songs that I've done that a lot of my fans really liked. You know, when I still had my YouTube channel, yeah, a lot of my fans like it when I do romantic cover songs for some reason.
Yeah, no.
Here it is. Ever danced with a guy who gives you the eye and let him want you time? You can smile, ever smile for the man who held your hand beneath the spell of the light. But don't forget who's taking you on. and it is all you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Oh, I know that the music's fine like sparkling wine. Go and have your fun. Laugh and sing while we're apart. Don't give your heart to anyone. And don't forget it's taking you out. And it is all you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. I messed up. Sorry, I messed up, everybody. I missed the line. Let me redo that.
Wow.
What, Dean? Sorry about that, everybody. I messed up. Let me redo that. Let me restart, everybody. I messed up. Was I mistaken a one part for a different part.
Okie dokie. Um,
You can dance every dance with the guy who gives you the eye and hold tight. You can smile every smile for the man who left your hand beneath the spell of right. But don't forget it's taking you on, and it is all you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. And you know that the music's fine like sparkling wine. Go and have your fun. Laugh and sing, but while we're apart, don't give your heart to anyone. And don't forget it's taking you on, and it is all you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Baby, don't you know I love you so? Can't you feel it when we touch? I will never, never let you go. I love you oh too much. You can dance, go and carry on till you let it go, and it's time to go. And they ask if you're all alone, can't want you must tell no. So don't forget it's taking you out, and it is all you're gonna be. Save the last dance for me. Oh, I know that the music's fine like sparkling wine. Go and have your fun. Laugh and sing. The one with fun. Don't give your heart to anyone. And don't forget it's taking you out. And it is all you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. So don't forget it's taking you out. And it is all you're gonna be. Or, so darling, it is all you're gonna. So don't save the last dance for me. Oh, baby, won't you stay the last dance for me? You make the promise that you say the last dance for me. Say the last dance, the very last dance for me. Yeah, I might have accidentally messed up the ending there, Bo, but It's been a while since I've done this song, so give me a break, everybody. Done this song, so give me a break. Okay, so that was me doing "Save the Last Dance for Me" by Michael Bublé from the soundtrack of the movie The Wedding Date. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who have never seen The Wedding Date movie before, it's a romantic comedy about a stewardess who hires this really sexy man who actually who who's known for like being who gets paid by women to pretend to be their boyfriend and stuff to go with her to her sister's wedding and to make her ex-boyfriend jealous. But during this whole experience, she and him start to fall in love with each other. Yeah, but of course, the ex-boyfriend, he's like you're the typical guy who like who who who's like really into women, like womanizer kind of type, and he's pretty much the only person in the entire movie who does not learn a life lesson at all. Yeah, um, it's actually a pretty good romantic comedy, actually. And it's actually what led to me discovering Michael Bublé and his music. Actually, in fact, "Say the Last Dance for Me" was actually the very first song I've ever heard by Michael Bublé, and then I discovered another song by him called which was another which I also did cover of, which is called "Haven't Met You Yet," which is basically a song he did about him meeting the woman who's actually the right person for him. Yeah,
Well,
yeah. But of course, everyone knows that Michael Bublé does a lot of cover songs actually, and that his style of music is like Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and stuff like that. In fa- uh, um,
yeah,
in fact, I think "Haven't Met You Yet" is the only song I've ever heard from him that was not a cover song. Actually, yeah. Haven't Met You Yet. It's actually another good song by him. Actually. Okay, here's I'm gonna do one more cut song for you guys, but that's it. Here it is. I'm not surprised, not everything lasts. I've broken my heart so many times, I stopped keeping track. Caught myself in, I talk myself out. I get all worked up, then let myself down. I tried so very hard not to lose it. I came up with a million excuses. I thought of every possibility. And I know something that will all turn out. You'll make me work so we can work to work it out. And I promise you can, I'll give so much more than I get. I just haven't met you yet. Mm. I might have to wait. I'll never give up. I guess it's half timing, and you're half luck. Wherever you are, whenever it's right, you'll come out of nowhere and into my life. And I know that we can be so amazing. And baby, your love is gonna change me. And now I can see every possibility. Mm. And somehow I know they'll all turn out. And you'll make me work so we can work to work it out. And promise you can, I'll give so much more than I get. Mm. I just haven't met you yet. They say, oh, say, they love the world. But I won't need to find it. We'll get it right. And we'll be united. I know that we can be so amazing. And then your life is gonna change me. And now I can see every single possibility. Mm. And someday I know we'll all turn out. And I'll work to work it out. Cause you can give more than I get. Then I get, then I get, then I get. Oh, you know it'll all turn out. And you'll make me work so we can work to work it out. And promise you can give so much more than I get. Yeah, I just haven't met you yet. I just haven't met you yet. Oh, I promise you can. You get so much more than I get. I just haven't met you yet. So good day. Yeah, I just haven't met you yet. That's the only other cover song I'm doing in this live dinner, because I do have to work tomorrow.
Yep. Yep.
Now,
You got
yeah, that was "Haven't Met You Yet" by Michael Bublé. Yeah, um, yeah, he's actually a really good singer, but he's actually Italian. For those who didn't know, Michael Bublé is actually Italian. He's part Italian, and
yeah,
his
well,
his dad, who passed away,
Robert School.
actually was like a full on Dean Martin fan. Dean Martin was his guy. I know this because there's an episode of Celebrity IOU that Michael Bublé was in, where the where the Property Brothers renovate a house for Michael Bublé that belonged to his dad, who's now dead, and that Michael Bublé ends up giving to his father's caregiver that his dad secretly wanted to give the house to. Yeah, yeah. I
Yep.
watch a lot of home improvement shows, people, in my spare time.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Hey Rainy, don't you think it's crazy how much Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne looks like the Batman the animated series version of Bruce Wayne? Don't you think
Yeah.
it's crazy how much they resemble each other? I mean, literally, their face, their eye, the way their face looks, their faces are very extremely similar. I think that's why I actually have a fan theory, which I believe that Ben Affleck's Batman was actually secretly going to turn out to be a live action version of the Batman the animated series version of Batman. And that's why they casted him. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because they look so much alike, and of course, I might be wrong because Ben Affleck's version of Bruce Wayne and Batman is largely based on the Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns version of the character, which is why Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne is so big and muscular. I think it's a shame that we didn't end up getting Ben Affleck's standalone Batman movie that he was going to star in, and that the standalone Batman movie ended up being turned into the Robert Pattinson Batman movie instead. Don't get me wrong, Robert Pattinson was great as Batman. He really captured how much of a emotionally damaged dark person Bruce Wayne is. Yeah, for those of you to think that that Batman is a family-friendly character, you're actually wrong. Batman started out as a dark character when he was first created in the 1930s and actually killed people and used guns, people. But of course, parents started speaking out and saying that it was too violent for their kids. So the whole thing with censoring comic books became a thing, and Batman became a family-friendly character, which led to the '60s Batman TV series starring Adam West and Burt Ward.
But you left something out. Before that, Batman went from using guns to razor-edged boomerangs and shurikens tipped with poison.
Yeah, Batman, Brenna, and it wasn't until Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns graphic novel was released to the public that Batman went back to being a dark and gritty uh, and violent character again. Uh, then came then there was also Batman: The Killing Joke, which was what caused Barbara Gordon to become paralyzed from the waist down because of Joker.
But you got to,
Batman,
but you got to remember, if it wasn't for her father, the Joker would have never known she was Batgirl.
yeah. And of course, don't get the fact that the Joker also during the events of Batman Killing Joke, the Joker also tried to turn her father mad too, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Tried to make him lose his mind.
yeah.
But of course, it didn't work though. Obviously,
He was also the criminal that threw her off of a bridge as a baby.
yeah. Of course, we all know how psycho and crazy the Joker
He
is.
actually, he actually threw her off of a bridge as a
Yeah,
baby, and Bruce
yeah,
Wayne dove over there and caught her, landing in the water. If it wasn't for him, she'd be dead. She
yeah,
wouldn't be. Most of our fans didn't grow up with the Batman we know.
yeah.
The
A lot of
cold.
you who claim to be Batman fans, but only know of the early 2000s Batman, and also Batman the Animated Series. You're not really Batman fans. Batman has been around for decades, people, and
I grew up
he,
with the 30s version of it.
in fact, and I grew up actually knowing about the real Batman from the 1930s, who
I
actually
grew up.
killed people. In fact,
I
I
grew.
actually have in fact, I have that book I've showed you guys before, that red book that's full of tons and tons of 1940s Batman run comic books, but it's from like the World War II era. So this was when Batman and Robin were actually helping in the war effort. I'll
Yeah,
be
when
right
they
back, everybody. I have to go feed my two dogs.
Yuri, what did you have for dinner? I bet you it was good. Yuri, what did you have for dinner? I bet you it was good. Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'm back, people. Yeah, the Batman that a lot of you grew up with is not the real Batman. Reason why I grew up with the actual Batman from the 1930s because of that book I've told you about, guys, about a few times that I checked out from the elementary school library when I was a kid. That thick red book that was just chock full of tons and tons and tons of really, 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 really old comic books, including the very first Flash comic book ever, which was about Jay Garrick. Yeah, man, that book was thick. It was like this thick, people. Like,
For all of you who didn't know, it took time for the Flash to develop his super speed. When he first
yeah,
started, he could only run about 60 miles an hour.
and also the yeah, and yeah, and the Batman the Killing Joke was such an influential comic that it in the 80s that Tim Burton actually used it as inspiration for the 1989 Batman movie too. Everybody,
Yep.
and but speaking of that movie, do you know that there were plans to bring Jack Nicholson back as the Joker a for another Batman movie, which was going to be a sequel to Batman and Robin, and was going to have George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell return as Batman and Robin. It was going to be called Batman Triumphant, and it was going to actually star Coolio as the Scarecrow. I'm actually serious. In fact, yeah, Coolio was actually cast as Scarecrow for it, but then it was scrapped because of how bad Batman and Robin did in theaters. Yeah, man, when I was a kid, I thought that the Batman and Robin movie starring George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell was awesome. But then, as I got older, I started to realize how campy and terrible it is. Yeah. Uh, in fact, but when I watched it as a kid, I watched it on VHS. People. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to watch some movies on VHS. This was like the early 2000s, everybody, when VHS was still a popular thing.
Yeah.
Before DVD players made VHSs obsolete. Before DVD players and DVDs
But I'm telling you,
became way more popular in VHS.
I'm telling you, it was like, dude, these kids don't know about the superheroes we know about. I mean, they don't know the real story of Justice League. They don't know there was
And of
no
course, when Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice came to theaters, people were like, "Why is Batman?" Some people were like, Why is Batman branding people?" Well, when I heard this, I was like, saying, because he can, and that's that's the kind of stuff he did back in the 1930s. Yeah, of course, some people were not happy that Ben Affleck's Batman was like very dark and brooding and completely different from Christian Bale's Batman.
He also used laser edge boomerangs.
And what's funny is, originally, before Ben Affleck was officially cast as Batman for Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, Zack Snyder actually toyed with the idea of bringing Christian Bale back as Batman for the movie.
Didn't he
That's why
audition?
there's concept art out there that shows Ben Affleck wearing Christian Bale's bat suit. Everybody,
Didn't
yeah.
they?
At one point, at one point, Ben Affleck's Batman was originally going to be actually the version played by Christian Bale.
Yeah,
But of
didn't
course,
they?
Christian Bale said no to returning as Batman and because of course because Christian Bale has this thing with Christopher Nolan where they don't want to do another Batman movie, and in fact they didn't even want to do a third Batman movie. Yeah, the only reason why he did more Batman movies after Batman Begins is because Batman Begins was very successful when it came out, and uh, also Batman Begins was the first time we saw a live action Batman since well, the terrible Batman and Robin movie that starred George Clooney. Yeah, and yeah, so Christopher Nolan actually doesn't like and Christopher Nolan actually Christopher Nolan was actually a bit hesitant about doing a second Batman movie, but Christian Bale only did the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises because Warner Brothers really wanted a two more movies from them, and yeah, and
but yet and still they want to scrap Superman.
and guess what? That and Zack Snyder even toyed with the idea of having Christian Bale play Dark Slade in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice 2. Yeah, but of course Christian Bale said no again. Yeah, and they even approached Christian Bale for a possible cameo in the Flash movie, but he declined and said no because he revealed that he would have only cameoed in or made an appearance in the Flash movie uh if Christopher Nolan gave him his blessings to do it. Because Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan don't really have that much interest in doing another Batman movie at all, everybody. That's why Dark Knight Rises ends with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, Robin John Blake, inheriting the Batcave and becoming the new Batman. Yeah. And for a long time, it turns out there was even talks about possibly having Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Robin John Blake be the official Batman of the DC cinematic universe too. Did you know that, Randy?
That's crazy.
Yeah, but of course Joseph Gordon-Levitt said no, and Zack Snyder ended up deciding to just completely reboot Batman for the DC cinematic universe, and have the DC cinematic universe be completely separate from Christopher Nolan's Batman movie franchise. And also, here's something you probably didn't know, Randy. The actor who played Scarecrow in Batman Begins originally auditioned for the role of Batman for Batman Begins, and even did a screen test in the Val Kilmer bat suit. along with Christian Bale, who also auditioned in the Val Kilmer Batsuit. Yeah. There's actually footage. You can actually find that there's both of their screen tests on YouTube, Rain. But Christopher Nolan felt that but yeah, that the actor was not right for Bruce Wayne, but that the actor was perfect for the role of the Scarecrow, though. Ended up casting him as the Scarecrow. And of course, guess what? Some actors have actually guess what Robert Pattinson actually it turns out they, just like Christian Bale, they had Robert Pattinson audition for Matt Reeves' Batman movie in the Val Kilmer Batsuit. Everybody, and guess what? Robert Pattinson actually revealed what it was like putting that suit on. He said that it was claustrophobic and that he could feel that the suit was falling apart because of how old the suit was, and that it was basically like wearing a full-on wetsuit, a really tight wetsuit. Yeah, it turns out, apparently every time they look for a new actor to play a live action version of Batman, everybody, they have actors do a screen test in the form of them wearing the bat suit worn by Val Kilmer, and the bat suit worn by George Clooney. Even though those suits are from the 1990s, and have been in storage for multiple years and are slowly falling apart. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Ray?
I think that if you want to have somebody do a screen test, have them do a screen test in a suitable bat suit, not a broken down suit. Seriously.
Yeah, apparently that's what they do, right? Because that's how they approach it, like to see, just to get an idea of what each actor would look like with the full bat suit on, with the full bat suit and cowl on, before the actor gets the actor actually gets cast as Batman, and before they actually start designing the new the official bat suit that the actor is going to wear. I'm not making this up. People have actually seen the test screens. In fact, I'll even find an image of the test screen of Christian Bale and Val Kilmer's batsuit and show you an image of it.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And guess what? It turns out they did something. They did the exact same thing with with Henry Cavill.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to my good friend Honey's in Cutie Pie. She's been losing subscribers. I don't know why. I found these results. It's probably a hiccup in the program, but she's a pretty good person. Subscribe to her. She makes pretty good animations, and just give her a chance. She's a good person.
Here's Christian Bale wearing Val Kilmer's batsuit, everybody.
And that's what I call really on that.
Yeah, this is actually Christian Bale doing his screen test for Batman Begins, which involved him putting on Val Kilmer's batsuit from Batman Forever.
Yeah.
And they did the exact same thing with Henry Cavill and also David Cornsweet, everybody. You see when Henry Cavill, when Zack Snyder was trying to get Man of Steel greenlit and was show and like he actually showed this thing where he showed Warner Brothers Studios what he would what he pictured his Superman to look like, which was in the form of Henry Cavill actually putting on Christopher Reeve's Superman suit. But when it came time for David Cornsweet to do his screen test for James Gunn's Superman movie, James Gunn actually had him put on Henry Cavill's Superman suit. And guess what? Apparently, one of the Superman suits that were worn by Henry Cavill ended up getting ripped and ruined during this screen test, Randy, apparently. Yeah. So one of the Superman suits that were worn by Henry Cavill in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice and Justice League got ripped and got ruined while David Cornsweet was putting one of them on. And apparently, David Cornsweet revealed that to get the Henry Cavill's Superman suit on, he actually had to squeeze himself into it because Henry Cavill was actually taller than him. So he really had to squeeze into the suit and make it so that suit looked but luckily the suit fit him well enough to where it actually looked good on him. In my opinion, though, Henry Cavill is a better Superman than David Cornsweet is, and guess what, Rain? There's a new rumor surrounding the James Gunn Superman movie, which is that the version of Ultraman that we're going to be seeing that we'll be seeing in the movie is actually a clone of Henry Cavill's Superman from the DC cinematic universe, who has somehow come into this new Superman movie universe that James Gunn created. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a good storyline.
But it's just a rumor so far, though, people.
Yeah, it's a rumor, but it will make a great storyline. It will make a really great storyline. But all I'm saying
In my opinion, though, I think you're right. Though they instead of having actors wear Val Kilmer and George Clooney's bat suits when they do a screen test for a live action Batman movie, they should definitely have an actor wear a different bat suit that was created for the screen test instead, because the Val Kilmer's bat suit and George Clooney's bat suit are from the very late 90s, everybody, and are off and have sat in storage for multiple years since those two Batman movies, and are obviously slowly falling apart, and are made of materials that are not used anymore. I mean,
fireman rubber.
George, yeah, and the only reason why George Clooney, and it turns out the reason why George Clooney actually cameos as his Bruce Wayne in the ending of the Flash movie is because they actually filmed multiple different endings for the movie, which includes Ben Affleck's Batman, Bruce Wayne being back in the ending, Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne being the Bruce Wayne in the ending of the movie, and also a scene in a version which has both Henry Cavill Superman and Supergirl both being in the ending, and also the version of the ending that we end up getting, which has George Clooney's Bruce Wayne. The reason why they did this is because they thought it is because they wanted to. They felt that it made sense to film multiple versions of the ending because of it being a multiverse movie, and also because they thought that because of Barry Allen's time travel adventure slash time travel slash multiverse adventure, he didn't really come 100% fix the timeline and bring it back to what it was before he went on his time travel multiverse adventure. And that, because in that, just like how Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne explains the time travel and timeline slash the multiverse to Barry Allen in the movie. There, no matter how many times Barry Allen alters the timeline and tries to change it back to what it was before he altered it, he will never really 100% change it back to what it was. There will always be slight differences in the timeline that weren't there originally. And that time travel and combining time travel with the multiverse is like a bowl of soup, and how there's always something. Each part is always a little bit different than it was before. What are your thoughts on that, Ray? So, what are your thoughts on that, Ray? So, Ray, you still there? Randy, still there, Ray? Ray, you still there?
But what I'm saying is, you can't expect someone to just, yeah, I'm still here. It's just you can't expect someone to, do a screen test in a suit that's not suitable. I mean, dude, come
Yeah.
on.
But
That's
what are your thoughts on what I just said about the ending of the Flash movie?
the Flash movie. Yeah, well, I'm just saying. He did a lot of damage when he created the Flashpoint timeline. Seriously.
Yeah, but the version of Flashpoint that we got in the movie is it just sucks, and compared to the actual Flashpoint storyline from the comics. I mean, even the Flash TV series on CW did a way better job, like doing Flashpoint in live action than the Flash movie did.
I give you another example. The Flash TV show that came out in '83 did a better job. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, all they did with the Flash movie was they took the bare bones of the Flashpoint storyline and that's it. They they instead of actually doing full on Flashpoint, with Barry with Bruce Wayne's father being a being a different version of Bruce Wayne, and his wife not being the Joker. They were like, hell with that. And they just scrapped that whole thing and just replaced them with Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's how they do it.
Yeah, but it turns out the original versions of the script, when the Flash movie was in development, the original versions of the script that were written were scripts for a full on Flashpoint movie. That they were originally going to go all out with the Flashpoint storyline, and even use Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, in the movie.
You mean the villain they call Professor Zoom?
Yeah, the Reverse Flash, and also the who killed Barry Allen's mother.
That was Eobard Thawne, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he only killed his mother because the future Barry Allen tried to stop him from killing his mother, from killing him. Because Eobard Thawne traveled back in time to when Barry Allen was a kid, just so he could kill Barry Allen, the kid version of Barry Allen, so Barry Allen wouldn't grow up and become the Flash.
That's kind of cool.
But of course, the future Barry Allen ended up traveling back in time to the night that his mother was killed, and to try to stop the Reverse Flash, and they end up having a full-on battle in Barry Allen's childhood home. And of course, Barry Allen quickly, before the Reverse Flash could kill the kid version of Barry Allen, the future Barry Allen quickly grabbed his young kid self and ran him several miles away just so and by doing so, Eobard Thawne, it caused Eobard Thawne to become really pissed off, and so Eobard Thawne decided to just kill Barry Allen's mother instead. And that's how angry he was. Yeah, but Eobard, of course, because of the events of Flashpoint, Barry Allen traveled back in time and basically stopped Eobard Thawne from even trying to kill his mom and him, and altered the timeline to the point where Barry Allen's parents were both still alive and that his father's no longer in prison, and that his mother was never killed by Eobard Thawne, and where Barry Allen isn't even the Flash anymore, and that the and that the whole entire world is completely different than how it was before Barry Allen altered the timeline, and now Bruce Wayne was no longer alive, and that Bruce Wayne died died the night that his parents were supposed to be killed, and his father Thomas Wayne is now Batman, and his mom and now Bruce Wayne's mom is now the Joker.
That's messed up.
And Bruce Wayne's father is a Batman who drinks a lot and is angry and pissed off and curses a lot too, and is way more violent than Bruce Wayne is as Batman.
Don't forget, he gave himself a serum that gives him super strength.
And Bruce Wayne and Leia, so basically, and there's no Justice League. The Justice League no longer exists. Like the Justice League never happened. The Justice League were never formed. Like Wonder Woman never left her island, and it never came to America. Never fought in World War II. And Aquaman was born. Aquaman was born in Atlantis instead of became the ruler of Atlantis, unlike he was supposed to. And yeah. Yeah, so and even Jaden Todd was altered. Yeah, the Flashpoint version of Jaden Todd, everybody, is a priest. Yeah, a priest. How crazy is that, Ray? I mean, picturing Jason Todd as a priest, like, yeah.
Who does that? Become a priest.
But it's not like Barry Allen meant to make all these changes to the timeline. He did it on accident. And of course, to change the timeline back to the way it was, Barry Allen had to run really, really fast as a way of stopping Flashpoint from becoming permanent. And by doing so, he ended up changing the entire timeline back to the way it was.
Yep.
But of course, in the Flash TV series on CW, they made it clear that even though he changed it back to the way it was, he still altered the timeline slightly. Like, the character John Diggle, from the Arrow TV series, before Flashpoint, he had a little daughter. But because of the events of Flashpoint, Barry Allen changing the timeline back to the way it was, he now has a son instead of a daughter.
Didn't John Diggle become the Green Lantern?
Yeah, obviously they made many references in the Arrowverse on CW of John Diggle possibly turning out to be John Stewart, who is the guy who ends up replacing Hal Jordan as Green Lantern, but it never paid off. Nothing came of it because they just didn't have the budget to do all the Green Lantern special effects, and also because Warner Brothers only wanted a Green Lantern for the DC Cinematic Universe.
Well, that would have been a great it would have been a great thing for the Arrowverse to have.
I mean, even when even when they brought in the 1990s Flash played by John Wesley Shipp, even when they brought him in for Crisis on Infinite Earths or Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event on CW, you remember how he reacted when he first sees John Digital? He's like, John, you're not wearing your ring.
He's like, John, you're not wearing your.
Yeah, basically, which was obviously a reference to the fact that on on Earth 90, which is the Earth that John Wesley Shipp's version of Barry Allen is from, there was a version of John Digital who was John Stewart. Yeah, but of course, like we know, um,
But
yeah,
then
they
he
only
wanted.
wanted the Green Lantern for the DC Cinematic Universe, and now
Mhm.
for James Gunn's the new DC Cinematic Universe. Yeah,
But then he might as well have been the Green Lantern because the characters are similar. John Diggle was a Marine. He was in Marine. He was a Marine, and so was John Stewart. They both was in special forces.
and also it turns out the actor who played John Diggle in the Arrow TV series, and also in some episodes of the other uh, DC TV shows on CW. Yeah, every time he was asked, every time he was asked about his character possibly turning out to be John Stewart, he never he never flat out said that his character was not John Stewart. He never said his character wasn't. He was always hinting at the fact that his character might possibly one day become Green Lantern.
But what I'm saying is, they could have did a lot more with Diggle's Diggle's character, but they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to.
You're wondering what I'm doing right now, everybody? I'm doing a quick workout right now before I have to go take a shower.
They didn't want to do. They didn't want to do the things that they could have done with his character. I mean, they didn't bother, and to not do that is just so
I
poor.
mean, in the Arrow TV series, right? There were also many references to Hal Jordan, too. Like, including an episode of Arrow where there's a scene where Oliver Queen and Felicity Smoke are in a bar or a coffee shop somewhere, and they pass by a guy who's wearing a leather jacket, but you don't see the guy's face. But on his jacket, it has the last name Jordan on it.
Yeah,
And
and
also, there's even there was even some episodes in season one of The Flash. In season one of The Flash, when in the first couple episodes, there's a full-on references to Hal Jordan, including a reference that said that in the form of them mentioning that Ferris Air Force base was shut down because one of its Air Force pilots went missing. Now, who do you think that pilot was?
it was
It
Hale
was
Jordan.
Hal.
Hal Jordan.
Yeah, but of course, they never. Yeah, they were allowed to make full-on references to Hal Jordan and John Stewart in the Arrow TV series, and also references to Batman, but they weren't actually allowed to actually use those characters.
They
Like,
weren't.
for example, there were many references to Batman in the Arrowverse, But it wasn't until the Elseworlds crossover event where it actually pays off, and it's actually revealed that there was a full-on Batman who actually existed, but he was just never shown shown on screen on TV because he left Gotham. He quit being Batman and left Gotham City multiple years before the events of before the events of season 1 of Arrow, and before the events of the Flash TV series. So, in that, instead of Batman, we got Batwoman, who is a lesbian, and
who is supposed to be the niece of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, she is in the Batwoman TV series on CW, which was part of the Arrowverse. They do mention multiple times that she's the niece of Bruce Wayne, and I mean, they even in the Batwoman TV series they even show Bruce Wayne's Batsuit in the Batcave. They actually show it on display in the Batcave, and guess what?
But this is the thing: Bruce Wayne had no siblings, none.
And it was they also hinted that the Bruce Wayne, that the Earth One Bruce Wayne, who is the Bruce Wayne that exists in the Earth that Barry Allen is from. They also hinted at that the Earth One Bruce Wayne was mainly based on Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne.
Which I mean,
and of course, as a joke, as an inside joke, during the whole entire Elseworlds crossover event, every time they mention Bruce Wayne and Batman, Oliver Queen gets all angry and pissed off, is because he doesn't want to accept the fact that there was already a vigilante out there fighting crime long before he came along and became the Green Arrow. Even when they find the bat signal on the roof of on the roof of the Gotham City Police Department building, Oliver Queen still doesn't want to accept it, and keeps calling Batman a myth.
Urban legend.
Imagine how Bruce Wayne probably felt. Imagine how that would make Bruce Wayne, the Earth One Bruce Wayne, feel if he heard that Oliver Queen thought he was just a myth. Imagine how insulted Bruce Wayne, as the Earth One Bruce Wayne, probably would be.
That probably would have been the ultimate insult.
I mean, and of course, it wasn't until the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event that they did for the Arrowverse on CW is actually what made it possible for them to actually introduce Bruce Wayne into the Batwoman TV series.
But what I'm saying is they could have used him on Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Yeah, but of course, the reason why we never actually got a live action Batman or any live action Batman TV show is because Warner Brothers only wanted Batman for movies. They didn't want him for TV. In fact, it was the same thing with This is why there were so many restrictions with the Joker in the Gotham TV series on Fox.
Like even with Spider-Man. Spider-Man is only wanted. Spider-Man Marvel is only wanted for Marvel movies, not a TV show.
Yeah, do you know what's crazy? Yeah, the Crisis on Infinite Earth, but it turns out though, the version of Bruce Wayne that we got in the Batwoman TV series, when they actually show on camera, was actually an imposter. the character Hush,
Yeah.
who had plastic surgery put on onto his face to make himself look like Bruce Wayne, just so he could get into the Batcave.
What I would do if I was DC, I would I would strike a merger with Marvel and use all the heroes and make a big ass crossover event movie.
Well, you mean DC? You mean DC, not Marvel? Marvel Studios is already planning a giant crossover movie in the form of Secret Wars, or in the form of one of the next Avengers movies being Secret Wars. Yeah, they man. In fact, you wanna know how I know they actually hinted at the Earth One Bruce Wayne that exists in the Arrowverse being based on Christian Bale's Batman. I know this because there's a scene in the Elseworlds crossover event that actually shows Bane's mask from The Dark Knight Rises as evidence in the police evidence room at Arkham Asylum. Yeah, the exact same mask that was worn by Tom Hardy in The Dark Knight Rises. The exact same one, Ray.
Oh man.
And also the fact that the Arrowverse Bruce Wayne left Gotham City and quit being Batman multiple years before the events of the Arrow TV series and also the Flash TV series. Because remember, in the ending of The Dark Knight Rises, Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne faked his death. Faked his death. Remember, made it seem like he died in that explosion, and ended up going to Italy with Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
So he can live a normal life and not be Batman anymore.
He could have lived a normal life in Gotham. All he had to do was stop becoming Batman. Stop being Batman.
But the problem is, in The Dark Knight Rises, they revealed that his Bruce Wayne liked being Batman too much to the point where it almost consumed him, and that's one of the reasons why Alfred decided to leave and quit being his butler.
Hmm. I don't think that I could. I don't think I could literally. I don't think I could literally stop. I don't think I could literally stop being Batman.
Yeah,
That's
remember when we first meet Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight Rises, his Christian Bale's Batman is still seen as the guy who killed Harvey Dent, because the people of Gotham City don't know the truth that Harvey Dent became Two Face. Remember?
yeah. He became Two Face.
Yeah, and before Heath Ledger died, the original plans for The Dark Knight Rises was actually involved bringing Heath Ledger's Joker and Harvey Dent back.
Yeah.
But
What I didn't really like was the fact that. What I didn't like was the fact that the when it came down to the Batman thing, they could have did a lot. They could have did a lot of things with with the Batman character. It didn't have to always be Bruce Wayne. It could have been like, well, I wouldn't put Damian in the role of Batman because he's too bloodthirsty.
Yeah, but remember when Batman, remember in Christopher Nolan in Christopher Nolan's Batman franchise, which has Christian Bale's Batman, the only version of Robin that we ever get is Robin John Blake, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's basically a mix of multiple comic book versions of Robin. Dick Grayson, the version of Dick Grayson who was a rookie police officer, Jason Todd, and also Tim Drake. Yeah, and yeah, but guess what? But it turns out every time Christopher Nolan was asked about whether or not Robin was going to be in The Dark Knight Rises, he always said no and always denied it because he wasn't trying to go for the traditional version of Robin. He didn't want to do that. Because he felt he didn't the regular version of Robin that we know from the comics, didn't fit with the tone with the version of the Batman world that Christian Bale's Batman is in. So instead, Christopher Nolan created a new Robin who is played by named Robin John Blake, who is a rookie police officer turned police detective, who yeah who basically looks like Robin, and even has Robin's really short black hair, but is not Robin, no. And that's why they didn't reveal his first name until the end of the movie, right?
That was crazy.
Yeah. But turns out, everybody, the name Robin John Blake, that there's lots of evidence that from the comics that supports the fact that the character Robin John Blake in The Dark Knight Rises might have been named after some minor character who only appeared in one Batman comic, who was some kid named Robin John Blake who got his report card stolen by the Joker. But it's never really officially been confirmed that that's where Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character's name came from. It's never been proven, and Christopher Nolan has never said anything about it.
It's almost 12 o'clock, but I'm gonna call it because it's late.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
I just go take a shower anyway. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. We go live. And remember, everybody, in February, Randy and I are going to be taking a little hiatus from YouTube in February, taking just a little break this yeah, just taking the whole month of February off from YouTube.
Yeah, I know I'm taking time off. I need it. Trust me. Okay, guys. I'll catch you later.
Peace, everybody.
Okay. And before I go, I'll just say another shout out for Honeys and Cutie Pie, my friend. You know, she's been losing subscribers, so subscribe to her channel. Her animations are good. You know, if you like cartoons, you know, that's what she does. She makes cartoons. She makes the gotcha cartoons. So, you know, give her a shout, give her a look, see, and see how you like it. You know, just give her a shout out, big shout out, big shout out to DD Live Studios and Terra Live Studios. You guys, God bless. Peace out.